live on here for, oh gosh, the last live stream I did was either, um, was it Married at First Sight? Or it might have been, yeah, I've only really been live over the last 6 months. I did the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I did that live. And then I did Married at First Sight. So this is obviously because it's a new year approaching. This is just some goal setting tips, and I've been live across on my Facebook page, Marianne Hanson, so you can go and check that out. I'll try to be a bit more concise, shall I use that word? Because I'm very, sometimes I will go off on a tangent, and I want to try and keep this really clear and straight to the point because it is approaching a new year, and I don't know how other people feel, but for me this is a really nice time of year because you know that starting from tomorrow it's a new opportunity to achieve things that maybe you didn't achieve the year before. It's just a nice feeling you can put the year behind. So yeah, join in with the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have your own goals for 2023. Any tips that you want to share with others. Okay, so let's talk about it then. So setting goals, the important thing first of all that I just want to clarify is the importance of writing things down. So you can do this in lots of different ways. So when you're setting your goals, you can either have a wall planner where you've got things in black and white, so it's very visual. Wall planners are good because you can use different highlighters, you can use little paper notes or whatever it is, colors. You can make it quite visual, and anything that is written down and that is bright, colorful, powerful visually means that you have a better chance of achieving those goals because you are constantly staring at it, so it's right in your face, but also you're drawn towards it as well. So I've written down, I've got 11 goals that I want to achieve in 2023, and I've written them down and I've put them, literally I've stuck them to my TV unit. So TV stand. So what that means is every single day when I'm sort of switching on the TV or watching TV, underneath I can see these goals, and it has worked already because it has motivated me and prompted me sometimes. And what it's good as well for is because it keeps you on track. What I find is that if people have goals but they don't write them down, so they just have them in their mind, sometimes you can almost some can go astray. So you might be thinking, oh, this is the goal I want to achieve, but then you forget about that one, you move on to another one. So it just keeps you focused and on track. So I'm going to give you 4 options of goal setting so you can do these different approaches, and then I'm going to give you 4 things that I feel you might need in order to achieve those goals. So stay with me, join in the comments, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. So the first option, and this is what sometimes people do a lot, is to set between 1 and 3 goals, let me get my words out, to achieve by a certain date. So this is a method where you're using a deadline. So for many people, they use this because they think if I say I want to achieve this goal by April, then it works for some people because they have a deadline. However, the disadvantage or the downside of using this method is that sometimes people leave things to the last minute. We all know that happens with people who leave their Christmas shopping till the 24th of December, or people who go into an exam and they revise the night before or even on the day. Now that can work for some people, but with goals, especially if it's a big goal that you want to achieve, the idea of waiting until April the 1st, because you want to achieve a goal at the end of April, it might work, but in some cases it just won't. So rather than deadline dates, you can choose the second option if you feel that would work, and that is setting 1 goal each quarter. So there is a book called The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. Now in this book, which you can get it on audiobook on here actually, which is really good. In that book, it breaks down how you break down the year into 4 quarters. And I've never thought, we do this anyway, but I've never thought of doing it in the way that he's talked about. So each quarter you have a specific goal, and that's all you focus on for those 4 weeks. Now you don't have to just choose one, because sometimes he said you treat that 4 weeks as a year. So you're saying from January to April, all you're doing is treating that as all the things you want to achieve within the whole year. You're focusing in on them for the first quarter. Now, I really like the idea of this because it keeps you focused, but also it is still a deadline, but it's done in a different way. So the difference between saying, right, I'm going to achieve weight loss by April, I'm going to achieve this by April, and you're just putting all your eggs into one basket and you're just saying everything's going to happen by April, that's different from saying, right, the quarter, January to April, this is a specific allocated time and I need to make it count, because it's just a different mindset and a different approach when you're doing it in that way. So that's one idea as well. The third thing is to set a monthly goal. So the difference with a monthly goal is that you are acknowledging the 12 months of the year and you're saying for every month of the year, I'm going to set a different goal. The disadvantage with it is some of your goals might take longer than that month, and you might set yourself a goal that you're not going to be able to achieve in January. However, there's nothing to lose, because say you don't achieve it, you can roll it over to the next month, or you can learn from it and you can say, do you know what, realistically, there was no way I was going to achieve that in a month. So what do I need to do to tweak it, or what do I need to do to review things and change things up a bit? So it's a good idea if you have lots of goals. I personally wouldn't do the one goal a month, because there's so many things on my list that I don't think would be achieved within a month. There's some that could, but I also don't want that level of pressure to say every single month I need to achieve a goal. So option 4, which is the one that I'm going to be doing in 2023, is to take daily action. So anyone that has read the books like Atomic Habits, can't remember the author of that one, then there is The Power of Habits, and I can't remember the author of that one either. And then there is a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. All of these books, there's loads of them out there, are all talking about building onto this idea of daily action, or doing lots of little things that build up to get you what you want. So the reason I'm choosing this option for 2023 is because I have 11 goals that I've written down, and I'm not saying to myself when they're going to be achieved, I'm just saying they are going to be achieved in 2023. So an example is on my list is that I've got 3 books that I have been writing for the last 3-4 years. One of my goals is to at least get 1 book finished by the end of 2023. So now that I know that's in my mind, because I'm taking daily action, tomorrow on the 1st of January, I might write 1 chapter of that book, but then I can put that aside, because on the 2nd of January, I might look at another one of my goals, which is to increase my health. So vitamins and things. I don't ever take vitamins. I know I should. I've actually ordered some. So on the 2nd of Jan, I might take a vitamin. So do you know what I mean? What I like about the daily action means you're always taking an action towards your goal. Your every action you take, 365 days of next year, will all lead towards the goals that you have. And there's no pressure doing it that way, because you don't have to pick a specific goal, because you know what all of your goals are. So hopefully then by the end of 2023, those 11 goals that I have will all be achieved, because I've taken action every single day. I've not had a day off, so I won't be having a day off. But I'll also, maybe on a Sunday, my daily action might just be, I don't know, build up my savings. It might be putting £5 in my savings account. That is still an action that I've taken, but it doesn't take any effort. Or it might be, on a Saturday, if I'm busy, I'm just looking at my goals over here. It might be, one of my goals is to socialise more, or to find time more for family and friends. So it might just be I do an activity, I think what I'm trying to get at is with this type of option, it's more flexible, and you're achieving loads of goals at once because you're taking daily action, and that's what the compound effect as well is about. So let's now talk about the things that you're going to need. This is the most important part, really. So the first thing you're going to need to achieve your goals in 2023 is a new mindset, okay? The old mindset that you've had hasn't got you what you've needed. And there's a saying that says, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I don't know who said it, but it makes a lot of sense. So sometimes we know that we can achieve things. We know that it's possible. And we know that we have the skills to do it. We have the time to do it. But we make excuses for why we haven't achieved that. And that's, I think, the main reason is because people sometimes don't want to sacrifice the things they need to do to get what they need. Be honest with yourself. if you don't have the mindset, or you don't feel that you can create that level of mindset that it's going to take for you to achieve a specific goal, change the goal or change your mindset. But you can't have it both ways. There are lots of people that are living in contradiction. They want something, but they're also telling themselves they can't have it. They have a particular goal, but they're also saying they're not willing to sacrifice things for that goal. You can't have both, and what will happen is you'll end up just not going anywhere. You'll be stuck, because the mind can't operate with contradiction. It's like if someone is in an abusive relationship, and I've made lots of videos about this as well. They want to leave, and they obviously don't want to be in the abusive relationship, but also their mind is saying to them, but I love this person. And what's happening is, because you're giving yourself a reason to stay by saying I love this person, which the two things are not linked. You can still love someone and leave them if they're treating you badly. But if your mind is confused because you're saying, well, I want to leave, but I also love the person, then you become stuck. And that's what happens a lot of times with lots of things. So change your mindset. The second one is self-discipline. So I was having a conversation on Facebook recently with someone between the difference between self-discipline and motivation. Motivation is the thing that gets you to do something. So it is, okay, I'll give you some money if you do this. So you might be money driven, so that will motivate you. Or if you do A, B, and C, you'll get a promotion at work. So if you're interested in that promotion, you're going to do what it takes, because that's the motivation you need to do it. Self-discipline means you're going to do whatever it takes anyway. Someone doesn't have to pay you to get up at 6 in the morning because you're disciplined enough to do that. Someone doesn't have to watch over you to get the report done because you've got self-discipline enough to get it done. No one has to say you're going to get a bonus if you work harder on this project. You're going to do it because you have the self-discipline to do it. So you don't need to motivate yourself, because it's already there, it's within you. And I think we all have self-discipline, but I just think we don't tap into it. So to get your goals, you're going to have to tap into that self-discipline. You're going to have to say, no matter what, whether the weather is bad, no matter whether I've had a late night, no matter whether I'm tired, regardless, you are still going to do what you need to do. Now, for me, I know that I can still do more as a counsellor. I know that I can still achieve a lot more in my life. But I do think I do have self-discipline, but I just need to ramp it up a bit more for 2023. So that is something. The third thing is to create new habits. So someone's habits will tell you about that person. So for me, it's the same as character. If I'm looking for a person in my life to be in part of my life, character and habits are going to be key things. So if you have someone who is a messy person, and I know that people use this term, oh, I'm messy, and like, oh, I've got better things to do than do housework, or throwing things on the floor is no big deal, or that sort of. To me, it's deeper, it's bigger than that. Because if you don't care enough about your clothes, or you don't care enough about towels, or you don't care enough about things, that you throw them on the floor and just leave them, or you don't have the time to clear up, wash the dishes up, vacuum, dust, then that's more than you just not being able to do the housework. That's part of your character, because what you're saying is that those things are not of value, those things don't matter, those things I can't be bothered to do, and that ties in with a lot more for me personally. So habits means that you put things in place that you are going to stick with that will help you towards your goal. So one of the habits might be that you will have to stop pressing that snooze button. I mean, I don't press the snooze button. I either get up straight away when my alarm goes off, or I wake up before my alarm goes off, because my body is used to waking up at certain times. I don't see the point of a snooze button, because what's the point of you setting your alarm? If you don't feel that you're going to get up when your alarm goes off, then don't set your alarm. But what's the point of setting it? It goes off, and then you just press snooze. Because what you're basically saying is, what was the point of setting it in the first place? You know what I mean? So create new habits, whether that's eating breakfast, making sure you don't leave the house without breakfast, whether that's getting up without pressing the snooze button, whether that's regular exercise, whether that's drinking more water, whatever your habits are, you need to start putting them in place from now. It's never too late to create a new habit. And the final one is you need to have more faith and trust in yourself as a person and in your abilities. There are lots of people around you and in lots of people in this world who are willing to tell people what they can't do. You know, you can't do that, you can't have that, that's going to cost you too much, or you're going to sacrifice this if you do that, or you shouldn't be doing that. There are loads of people that can tell you all of that, but you need to decide what's best for you in your life. You need to be the type of person that has so much faith and confidence in your own abilities that no one would even attempt to say to you no, that you're not going to do that. It doesn't mean you can't look for advice and guidance. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you can't accept feedback, because I think, you know, you don't want to be so, what's the word called? Hard-headed, that you just say, right, I'm going to go off, I'm going to do this, and I don't care what anyone thinks, and I'm not going to listen to anyone. That's not what I'm talking about. But you have to have enough confidence and faith and trust in your own decisions, because if you've set goals, then you've set those goals for yourself, and maybe for your family, and maybe for your relationship. If someone comes along and says to you, then no, you shouldn't be setting that goal, you should be doing this instead, then why should that person have the ability and the power to tell you what your goals should be? So you need to have enough trust and faith in yourself. So they're the 4 things really. So I've gone through the different types of goal setting that you can do. There's just a few options, but the key things from this video are that you need to create a new mindset, you need to be more self-disciplined going forward, you need to create new habits, and you need to have faith and trust in your abilities. I think if you put all those things in place, then there's nothing that can stop you from achieving your goals. Be honest with yourself as a person on the areas that you're slacking in. Be honest with yourself as a person on what is holding you back, what are the obstacles, and then just make a decision and just take those chances and go for it. So thank you for whoever joined me on the live stream. I know that few people tapped in and out. This will be up obviously for you to watch at your own leisure, and I'm wishing everyone a happy new year, and I'll speak to you all in January 2023. Okay, thanks for watching, take care, have a good day, bye.